Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Komal Shekhawat and I hope you all are doing great. I create videos on how to do econometric analysis and data analysis using various softwares like SPSS, EViews, Stata and R. So if you are new to my channel, please subscribe the channel and keep following the videos. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to explain what is the gravity model of international trade between nations. Do watch the video till end because in the entire video, I will be explaining in detail what is the gravity model, what is the significance of gravity model, and how to run the gravity model of trade using statistical softwares. Apart from this, I will also be explaining how to import or obtain the data for gravity model from various data sources. Okay, so first of all, what is gravity model of trade? See, gravity model is used to predict or study the nature of international trade between nations. The model states that just as planets are mutually attracted in proportion to their sizes and distance, countries trade in proportion to their respective size and distance. To be more specific, trade between two nations decreases with an increase in the distance between them and it increases with the increase in volume of their respective GDPs. Okay, so trade between two nations is directly related with their GDPs and it is inversely related with the geographic distance between them. The basic gravity equation can be explained like given in the equation above, wherein trade is a function of GDP of two countries and the distance between them. Okay, so where A is a constant and GDP I is for the host country and GDP J is for the partner country. Okay, so here the subscript I is for the main country and J is for the trading or the partner country. And distance here shows the distance between country 1 and country 2. Okay, and U is the error term. Now, this basic gravity equation can be written in logarithmic form as mentioned in the second equation. So, if we convert the first equation in a logarithmic form, the above equation can be written as the second equation. Okay. Now, lately, it has been realized that apart from these basic variables, that is the distance and GDP of these two countries, there are other variables that can affect the trade between two countries. And that is very obvious because there are n number of factors that can affect the international trade between two countries. So there are various factors affecting the trade between nations. For example, the population of both the countries, the real exchange rate between the countries, whether the countries are sharing any trade agreement or not. Suppose the countries are sharing a bilateral trade agreement or are member of World Trade Organization. Okay, so that also affects the trade between them. Apart from this, various dummy variables have also been incorporated by the researchers and economists in their study and prediction of international trade using the gravity model in their researches. For example, dummy variable like common language, common colony, border, and there are so many variables that can be included for the study. So common language here means that if the countries are sharing a common language, okay, so a dummy value of 1 is assigned, otherwise 0. Similarly, if both the trading countries were colonies of the same colonizer, a dummy value of 1 is assigned, otherwise 0. And similarly, if both the trading countries are sharing a common border, a dummy value of 1 is assigned, otherwise 0. Right? So while predicting the nature of international trade and to study the nature of international trade between countries using the gravity model, apart from the GDP of both the countries and the distance, which is the basic gravity model, you can also incorporate these factors based upon the literature. Okay. Now the next important thing is to arrange your data file in Excel sheet. Okay. So one of the most important tasks is to arrange your data appropriately in the Excel format in case you are going to use that file to run the gravity model in any statistical software. Okay. One important thing, I have already uploaded a video on how to arrange your panel data in Excel format. I'm attaching the link of the same video in the description box. Do watch that video also because I will be explaining in brief over here how to arrange or how to put your data in Excel sheet in an appropriate manner. Okay. So let's take an example. Suppose I'm interested in studying the trade pattern of India with its top 20 trading partners, right? So there are 20 countries in the sample and the time period that has been taken into consideration is from 1988 to 2006. So in the very first column, I have written 111 from 1988 to 2016. So this entire data is for country 1, that is trade partner 1. Okay. Similarly, afterwards, the data for country 2 has been mentioned over here. That is also from 1988 to 2016, right? So in the second column, the time period is mentioned. In the third column, the trade volume for the trading partner, trade volume for India, and similarly population of India and population of trading partner, distance between India and trading partner. Okay, so here in this distance, the distance between trading partner 2 and India's data has been mentioned. Okay. Another important thing is that here, apart from these variables, three dummy variables have also been taken into considerations. These are common language, common colony, and border. So as you can see, value 0 is mentioned for common language for country 1. This means that India and trading partner 1 does not share any common language. However, 1 is written for the same country. This means that India and this trading partner were colonies to the same colonizer. And border here also shows value 1. This means that India and the trading partner 1 are sharing common borders. Okay. So similarly, in the same format, you can mention and put the data for all the 20 trading partners, right? Now, the important question is how can one obtain these data? Okay, the data for trade, volumes, distance, exporting countries and importing countries, population, GDP of exporting and importing country. However, you can obtain these data very easily for these variables. But the important thing is how and from where to obtain the data for common language, common colony or border. So one interesting and very beneficial thing is that exactly entire information is available on various data sources. So now I'm going to explain you how you can obtain the data sources from various data sites. Okay. The major data sources for gravity model are you can obtain majority of the data from World Development Indicators, and you can also obtain the data from UNCOMTRADE, and the data for dummy variables and distance can be easily obtained from CEPII. So first, let's have a look at the data source of World Development Indicators. So in the search bar, you need to write World Development Indicators, okay? And you will see over here, Data Bank World Development Indicators. So here in the World Development Indicators, you can obtain the data for GDP of all the countries, and you can also obtain the data for population of the countries. Okay. So this is the data source. Here you need to select your requirements. Okay. So suppose you want to obtain data for particular countries. So you need to select all those countries. Okay. So all the concerned countries need to be checked, And suppose you have selected all the countries, and afterwards you need to select the series. Okay, so suppose you want to obtain the data for GDP of these countries and the population of these countries. So you need to search for GDP. Okay, so you can see over here the data for GDP at constant US dollar, at current US dollar. So you can select your desired variable, desired series. Okay, you can also obtain the data for population also. So here in this you can see the data for population of your concerned variables, right? So here you can see population, entire population, male, female population. You can select your desired variable, and afterwards you need to select the time period. Okay, so you want to study, or suppose you want to take into consideration 15 years of time period, or you want to take into consideration 20 years of time period. So you can select accordingly as per your requirements and as per your research study. After selecting all these three things, that is the country, the series, and the time period, you need to click on apply changes, and the World Development Indicators will provide you with all the available data. Okay, now if you want to download this data, you need to go to download options, and you can download this information either in Excel format or in CSV. Okay, so if you click on Excel format, the data will be downloaded, and once the data has been downloaded, you need to arrange the data for all the variables, all the countries, and everything in a single file format. Okay, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so you can separately download all the data sources, data informations, and then you need to create a separate file wherein you need to appropriately arrange your panel data, right? So this is the first data source, that is World Development Indicators. Now suppose you want to obtain data using UNCOMTRADE. So you need to write in the search bar UNCOMTRADE, and here you can see the statistics, UNCOMTRADE statistics, and this option get data. So you need to click over this, and there are two options available: extract data or download data availability. So you can click on extract data. Right, this is a very beneficial data source, UNCOMTRADE database. Because suppose you are not interested in studying the pattern of entire trade volume between two countries. Suppose you are interested in studying the nature of trade regarding a specific commodity or product. Okay, suppose you are interested in studying the pattern of trade of environmental goods or textiles or agricultural commodities between two trading partners. So in that case, the data for that particular commodity can be obtained from UNCOMTRADE database. Okay, so here you can see in the type of product, suppose you are dealing with a good. If you are dealing with a service, you need to click on this. Okay, you want to obtain the data for annual, right? So you need to click on annual. Now here is the classification. So goods are classified either on the basis of HS or on the basis of SITC, and there is another classification BEC. So suppose you are proceeding with standard international trade classification, which is providing you 4 revisions, revision 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can proceed with the latest one, revision 4, but sometimes data for particular years and particular countries is not available for the updated revision 4. So you can proceed with revision 3 in that case. Okay. Next, you need to select the time period over here. You need to select the reporters. Okay. So if you are studying the trade pattern of India with the rest of the countries, so in the reporters, you need to write down or select that country. And in the partners, you need to select the trading partners. So in my study, there were 20 trading partners. So in that case, I need to select those 20 countries in the partners dialog box. Okay. The third one next is the trade flows. So you are interested in studying the import nature or export nature, or all means export plus import. Clear? Then you need to select that particular commodity, right? So once you have selected the commodity, so it is based upon SITC revision 3, right? And suppose you are dealing with textiles. So textiles, here you can see textiles category 26 is available, 264 is available. So that is upon your study, okay? Whatever your concerned study is about, you need to select that commodity code, and the data for that particular commodity will be obtained. Afterwards, you have selected all the required things. You need to click on get data, and the data will be downloaded in Excel format. If you want the data in CSV file, you can click on this option, right? So this is how you can even obtain the data for a particular commodity or service also, which is being traded between two countries, and you can also predict the nature and forecast regarding that commodity and its trade. Okay, the another important data source is CEPII. Okay, in the search bar you need to write CEPII. In this data source you can obtain the data for distance between the countries and all the dummy variables. Okay, so this is also a very important data source. You need to click on data. All right, so here you can see in this gravity option, you would find over here data to estimate gravity equations. So you can find over here data for trade, GDP, population, trade agreements, okay? And the data is available from 1948 to 2020, okay? So you can find the data for majority of the variables in this data source. And afterwards, you need to click on gravity. So here they have also explained the methodology that they have used to obtain the data. Click on full data, and the file will be downloaded in your desktop. Okay, and this file will be in zip file. Okay, you need to select the concerned files and you need to obtain the data from there. So you would obtain data for dummy variables like common colony, common language, sharing of regional trade agreements. Okay, so suppose if the two countries are sharing a bilateral trade agreement or a common regional trade agreement, a dummy value of 1 would be assigned, otherwise 0. So you don't need to Google the history regarding the regional trade agreements, or you don't need to look at the maps to check whether the countries are sharing any common border or not. You just need to download this data and the information will be mentioned over there. Okay, so if the countries are not sharing any common border, 0 will be mentioned over there. You can obtain the data to run the gravity model. Now the next important thing is how to run the gravity model. So in the next video I will be explaining how to run the OLS method and how to run the robust methods to obtain or to predict the nature of international trade between countries. So keep following the videos. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.